Hello. Okay, you are able to see my screen? Hello, you are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We discussed about objective. The next thing we'll talk about the what exactly code of conduct, what is there written in the code of conduct. There are some points here. I again highlighted few things which you can remember. Every employee in an industry or unit shall have the freedom and right to join a union of his choice. That means, suppose ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନରେ ଜଏନ୍ କଲ, ସେଇ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ସହିତ 3-4ଟା ୟୁନିୟନ ଆସୋସିଏଟ ଅଛି. Union 1, Union 2, Union 3. That means you are free to join in any union, 1 or 2 or 3. Suppose you are joining, you like 1. So Union 2 cannot tell you, okay, what join karo, mo par wala achi, empty କିଛି ନାହିଁ. You don't have any compulsion, any forcefully you cannot join any union. So you are free to select your trade union or organization. Unit shall have the freedom. You have complete freedom on that. That is a rule for principles of the code of conduct. You must have observed we are writing code of conduct. Earlier we have given code of discipline, now code of conduct. So what is the difference between code of conduct and code of discipline? There is a slight difference. I can tell you. The code of discipline is a broad concept. We have one slide to understand that. So code of discipline is something which was an agreement between the different organizations, different employees. But code of conduct is within that union, within that organization. If someone is more or less, the rules and regulations are same, but the purpose is different. Code of discipline is a vast concept, is a broad concept. Code of conduct is a small concept within that organization. That is the main difference. So if you are having an organization, that organization should have one rule that anyone is joining should join voluntarily. So किए काको बाध्य करिवानी एटी जॉइन करो एटी. So you should have freedom to choose your organization whenever you are joining. There shall be no dual membership. You cannot join in two organizations, two unions. There shall be no dual membership in the union. In the case of representative unions, and these principles are needs. So this is one principles, one content mentioned in the code of conduct. There shall be in unreserved acceptance. Unreserved means unreserved acceptance. Reservation, you know. So reservation could be based on the caste, based on the religion, based on the region. So in union अच्छी जो organization अच्छी, you cannot accept the members based on their reservation. You cannot say वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन केवल यही मैंने ही जॉइन करेंगे. आई हैव ए रिजर्वेशन ऑफ 50% ऑफ शेड्यूल कास्ट, शेड्यूल ट्राइब, और 50% only Hindu people can join. only 10% can Muslim people join. You cannot have such reservation, unreserved acceptance. So if you have a union, you should have that kind of rules, principles. So these are the different principles we are talking. There shall be regular democratic election. Whenever you have a society, you have a union, you have all the office bearer, office executive. That means who are running the organization, who are the president, secretary. There should be election. These are the elected posts. So every year there will be a regular frequency of that election. Once in a year or once in 2 years, there should be a regular way to select those office bearers in a proper democratic way. Ignorance and backwardness of workers. Suppose someone is joining in an organization and that person is coming from a backward class or doesn't know anything. So you cannot ignore, you cannot neglect that person. You can explain properly, you can train them. So your organization should not entertain the ignorance, the backwardness of workers. So you cannot exploit the people based on that. Suppose a person is coming from a rural area. He doesn't know how to live in a city or how to work in a city traffic or how to go different place. So you cannot exploit that person you don't know anything. You should tell that person, you should train that person in such a way so that they will feel like they are not exploited. So that is one principle, one thing mentioned in the code of conduct. Similarly, communalism, casteism, partialism, provincialism shall be escaped. In any organization, in any union, you cannot have reservation, as I said at one point. Same thing, you cannot have caste, creed, color, community. So you cannot, so this organization, this union should not encourage all these things in their as their principles. So these are the different principles of unions. The very important thing is they should freely join, there should not be any compulsion, there should not be no dual acceptance, dual membership. So one person can have one union and there should not be any reservation, unreserved acceptance, and all the office bearers should be elected in a democratic way. So every year there should be election in a regular frequency. And you cannot entertain the ignorance backward, and there should not be any casteism, any communism. So these are the basic principle of code of conduct. These are the fundamentals of code of conduct. So whatever we discussed in the earlier slide, all these are coming from these fundamentals: integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behaviors. Confidentiality, what? Suppose you are working with me. I know few things about you. I know your date of birth, your phone number. So these are your personal data. I should maintain confidentiality on those data. I cannot go and tell to the whole world, okay, this is your date of birth, this is your phone number. You have given me for some purpose. I should only concentrate on that. So that is confidentiality, integrity, objectivity, professional competency. You should always focus on professional duties, professional activities, what you supposed to do. You should always honest. So these are the different principles. So all these principles based on those five fundamental category: integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, professional behavior. Whenever you are behaving, you should behave proper professional way. So you cannot be unprofessional. That means you should concentrate only on who are your activities, be very honest. You cannot take, what is that? Lanchan Nawaz goose. You cannot take all these things. So you should treat everyone. So all these principles are based on these five fundamental rules. So you remember these five. You can go back to the earlier slide. These are the principles of code of conduct. So I told something about the difference between code of conduct and code of discipline. The first thing is meaning. Code of discipline guides the employers and workers. This is one mutual agreement between the employers and workers. Whatever the settle dispute arises between them, so this agreement says about the settlement and what are the different actions they can take. The code of discipline says about that. The code of conduct is a document. What this it is all about same thing, but it is addressing only within that organization. Suppose one big factory, big organization, steel plant, Rourkela steel plant. Under that Rourkela steel plant, there will be many unions, trade unions, and there will be a conflict between different trade unions within one trade union, within one organization. So that is called interconflict and intra-conflict. That is what I have written here. The code of discipline regulates the relations between trade unions, management, and employees. So it is regulates between all the organizations. So whoever is the employer and employee, but the code of conduct regulates within that trade union inter-trade union rivalry. Inter-trade union means within that trade union, if you have any discussion, if any conflict, so the code of conduct will address all these things. The scope is here wide and the scope is narrow. On the basis of governing, decision making and action. So in code of discipline, most of the times you are making a decision what needs to do. In code of conduct, you are straightforward going to the action once you discuss, because it is a small organization, it is all within that. Length comparison. So I am comparing between code of discipline and code of conduct. So the length is shorter and longer here. So why it is shorter? Because you are not going in detail. You are only making a decision. Here, you are going to the action word. You are deciding who has done the mistake. You are doing the required inquiry. We'll understand, we'll read tomorrow the inquiry. Who has done the mistake? Who has done the problem to the organization? Then, based on that, you are taking action on that person, on that organization, on that employee. So we'll go through that. That is the reason it is longer. So the basic difference is, you remember this line, this nature is a general code where it regulates the relationship between different unions, management, and employees. So there are different parties involved in an organization. So discipline is maintained by all. Code of conduct is very specific within that organization, within one specific organization, or the dispute arises between intra-union and inter-union. So this is the basic difference between both the parties. Tomorrow we'll read through the different aspect of inquiry, charge sheet, why a person is doing mistake, what are the things, what is your role and why you are doing mistake. We'll understand the different types of inquiry that is there in this chapter and somehow related to this code of discipline and code of conduct. Tomorrow we'll read through that, then we'll complete this chapter. For the attendance, you remember the rule. You give me the attendance in the chat box, your roll number. Once you give the attendance, we'll complete the class. And I'll send you the class notes, whatever the highlighted portion you can remember, can elaborate, you can discuss. These are the things coming in the question. And most of the things, whatever there, I can highlight going forward so that you can remember. So objective types are important. These are the things coming in the papers. Tomorrow we'll meet in the same time. Then you let me know when the class will happen. Maybe we can have alternate day or a different timing. You ping me the number. So I can schedule, I can start your next paper. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.